Okay, I think it's finally working. See if I can find a place to sit. Gotta knock a couple things over. Nope, nope. Yep, I moved a few things, still not working. Ah. I think this thing will fit right. Okay. This is awkward, and I can't hardly breathe, and I feel so unbelievably warm inside this. But hey, look, it's a Jason Voorhees mask. I don't know how well you can see in this light. Let's see if I can move. By the way, originally I was going to have this thing going with the incense, but that incense cone does not last hours because I had issues trying to get this to work. Like I said, really don't plan on doing any more live streams, and also, what? Yeah. First off, oh my goodness. You think this wouldn't make a big difference, but it does. Oh my goodness. Can't breathe through that. Wearing blue jeans underneath. Oh. Do I have a flashlight or something over here? No, I do not. At this point, I'm like, oh. Not even sure if this is working for the comedic effect. I think it is. It's a Rick and Morty face. So, it's a Rick and Morty shirt. There does not get enough air in here. By the way, what's the thing about drinking some of this and then Sunny D? And I'm like, but I don't want to get all this stuff dirty. So, I'm so out of breath. So hot. Burning up. There was more shit in here. I had more. Right now, there is all of that. I had more. And then there wasn't any place at all for me to sit. Here's dictionary. Could look up the word definition of the word excessive. I threw that way too hard. That was just supposed to, gently go down. Not okay. This was supposed to be like originally a 10-second video of greetings one and all to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. And originally I was like, I'll make a 10-second video, I'll grab a couple things, show, and then I just kind of got carried away and kept grabbing thing after thing after thing. And then I had to move things to have any kind of spot to sit, and then stuff kind of fell down when I tried to sit down, and then try to set. It's like I had multiple fail attempts to get the stream started just because I couldn't get anything to. Oh, hi. Good afternoon. How are you? If you were here earlier, I didn't see I was struggling too much to get this to actually set up. I actually don't do live streams very often. You probably missed about 5 minutes. It's not much. It's mainly me just taking my black gloves off and taking this thing off because I'm basically dying of a heat stroke under this. How are you doing today? Thank you. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear you're all right. But yeah, it took me an hour or two to try to get this. It just wouldn't work at first. Yeah, since the actual gaming laptop actually has a webcam that I actually managed to get to work. So, no, like I said, I really don't plan to do much in the way of live streams. But hey, I'm glad that you're here. I'll talk to you for a while, though. Don't know how long this stream will be. Just showing off random things. It's just, yeah, I'd gotten this and I was like, I want to show this off. Though it is a very uncomfortable fit even without another mask already on. I'm so out of breath. Before I start showing things, yeah, if there was a Mega Man Legends 3 or a Brave Fencer Musashi 3. And Fatal, if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, feel free to pipe in. And heck, at one point I considered doing a little house tour, but really it's just a few bedrooms and a living room and a guitar and a bunch of various toys and books and movies. And also, I don't think I can walk down the stairs in this and not fall down. Okay, cool. That's... Yeah. What's this? I have tried this before. I've still just had it in the fridge for a while. It's pretty good hot sauce. I've tried a lot of different hot sauces. By the way, since you're there, you can tell me if this is overly loud. I don't know how well this would sound. It's like a little music box thing. I'm going to let it play. I don't know if it's going to be overpowering or what. Yes. This is the cringiest place on the internet. You've already seen the little hallway corner behind me. I don't have enough room to put anything else. I will try to go down the stairs and not fall down at some point. I shouldn't have done this in the middle of, well, almost summer. Never seen a music box like that. It sounds nice. Okay, that's cool. I'm glad it's not too loud. Anyway, here's a small dinosaur. I don't know what this stream really is. It's just me rambling about stuff, and I just mainly just wanted to show off the mask, and I grabbed like 100 other things. And I would say I don't know the meaning of the word excessive, but then again, I did do a Crash Bandicoot video where I grinded up 9,000 plus deaths in a single video. Well, the video was like 11 or so minutes. The process to grind up 9,000 plus deaths in a single level of Crash Bandicoot took like 37 hours. Because you can't like save in the middle of that because you're not supposed to do that. Or like Binding Isaac Infinite Basements. I went to floor 9,000 in Infinite Basements. That took a couple months. And the timer that shows in the game isn't even the correct timer because it stops timer anytime you go to floor transitions or the boss. Actually, you and several other people have mentioned to me that they've been putting on Xbox 360 emulators on their computers. I figure it should work. I mean, an Xbox, most computers should be able to handle up to an Xbox 360 or a PS2. Though, it's always a little bit. They probably could be. I don't think, because I'm pretty sure no one has grinded 9,000 plus deaths in a single Crash Bandicoot level before. And Yeah, no one. I think at the time I made that video, it looked like the farthest anybody had ever gone was floor 375 for the most part, but there were some people that went to floor 3,000 some odd. Because every 1,000 floors it tells you to please stop as a little custom message Ed McMillan put in there. But yeah, you could probably just go to my channel and type in 9,000, and you'll probably get a 3-minute long video of me playing Binding of Isaac, where I'm at floor 9,000 in Infinite Basements. It's so many letter M's. Okay, what would you prefer I call you by? And heck, if I'm going to get a Guinness World Record at some point, it's going to be for the cringiest video in the world. Like, I sing karaoke videos, even though I don't have any skill at singing. But I like singing. Heck, I know Street Fighter comes out in about a week. I'll be trying to Let's Play that, but I don't know how my computer's going to handle it. The first video I'll probably do with default settings, and after that I might have to like lower things. I watched somebody do a little bit of gameplay of the new Golem game, and oh my, that's definitely not worth $60. I think you heard the channel Tear of Disgrace or Tear of Grace. His reaction to it was pretty funny. Okay. Okay, so Fatal or Shane for now. But yeah, I don't really live stream very often, but heck, if anything, I'm just going to be on Twitch more often if I'm going to be, and even then, heck, at some point, maybe I'll actually make a VTuber model. I just keep sort of scrapping it. And even then, it's not like I ever plan to make a cent off any of this. I'm just a random guy who likes talking to his computer. Let's see if I can grab that guitar, but I can't really bring that. I built a little barricade between me and the stairs. So I'm about to step over that and not fall down. There you can see a broken dictionary. I threw it slightly too hard. There's that. Oh. Nice that there was a light at the bottom of the stairs, too. I really haven't played it that much. Played it more when I was younger. I don't think I'd really be able to play anything at the moment. Not going to show the rest of the living room downstairs. And back over the barricade. Oh, an SG. My emulator seems to crash when I start a game. A couple of VTubers, they might be able to. No, I mean, I got the VTube studio and VRoid studio. I just. Well, I'm between indecisive about character model and also just how I feel about how the model looks. But yeah, it's no rush on that. I'm not really pushing too much on that. Besides, I'm just using the whatever's available in the base for free version of it. You have an Epiphone SG too. You have to forgive me being out of breath. Just this mask does not allow much airflow. Like I said, here's this thing that I already showed, the Jason mask. Pretty sure my short-term memory hates me though. Just showing off random stuff. It's not really a good. Here's the best part of the Mickey Mouse blanket that you can actually see part of Mickey. The rest of it's much more faded. And like I said, got a bunch of holes. Oh, so out of breath. Yeah, you can actually see them. It's good because that's like the one segment that's of the blanket where there's a giant hole. So that part doesn't really get used that much. So pictures aren't as faded, but the rest of it's a lot more faded. Oh, by the way, I have a second music box here. I can remember. All right, I just opened this one. Here's an owl. This is like the dumbest stream ever, but it's like. There's a dog. Start moving stuff over here so I can actually. Here's a wooden sword. It's wood. It's got a carving. A picture of a dragon. But yeah, I've done a few other live streams, but they're pretty rare. I don't even know if I'll ever do another one. It's probably be the last live stream I ever do, at least on YouTube. And like I said, the other ones probably be just gameplay or VTuber stuff on Twitch. So this might be the very last YouTube stream. Yeah, it's just a wooden sword. So it's a toy. Doggo. Thank you. And this seemed very nice is about the sword and about the doggo. Here's Trigun. Part of me wants to keep wearing my gloves, but it's too hot. I'm burning up. Otherwise, I'd be wearing the Jason Voorhees mask too, but I can't see. Even more so than I already can't without the black filter in front of my face. Here's a Senran Kagura box. Yeah, I literally just grabbed a bunch of random stuff from around my house and then piled them up here. And then I realized there was no room and I had to move things. Like I had actually various plants, like an aloe plant, a cactus sitting here too. And even with moving that, it's not really room to exist here. Here's a box. It has special significance and importance more than what is displayed on the box. Because there's stuff in the box, but not saying. Here's a teddy bear. Here's another teddy bear. Though each of them has a different importance, but this one actually was mine when I was younger. Here's a box of Raging Loop. Probably the second best visual novel. I'd say it, and well, actually, no, this is the first best. Song of Memories would be the second best. It's about. Oh, so let me check the battery because the charging cable I don't think will reach over here, and I don't feel like taking it out of the other outlet. So, but this is about like werewolves in Japan, and it's actually really, and it's not really overly violent and there's not really anything nudity or anything. It's rated M for stuff I can't read through my mask. So I don't know if you guys can actually read but yeah, Raging Loop, probably the best visual novel ever made. I remember AI Somnium Files, Death Note, not Death Mark. This is a good one. The music too is really good. At some point, I'm going to clean up the giant mess I'm making. It's a Raging Loop book. Floofy Bear. Yeah, actually, I got some stuffed animals that are a lot more floofy, but yeah, I'm not going to walk around the whole house with the computer. That's kind of very awkward, but I'm glad you do like. Yeah. I've already mentioned to you about the various fusions of different characters that I'm basically. The best way I describe my personality is as soon as I get a breath of air, is what's my battery of my. What's the computer say? I can't read that. 49 minutes, 58% remaining. Might have to see if that one thing can reach. I don't want to take that. But yeah, where I've said Sailor Moon, that my personality can best be described as a fusion of Dragon Ball Z Bataria fusion of Sailor Moon or Yusuke Urameshi or Astolfo and Jack Hanma. Nagisa from Assassination Classroom and Stein from Soul Eater, or Krona from Soul Eater and Vash the Stampede. Shinji from Evangelion, which actually have the old collection of those DVDs somewhere, but I already have enough things here. I even think I have the old 10th anniversary. Yeah, there it is. If I can have this Evangelion disc soundtrack. It's the 10th anniversary of when it came out in 2005, this box set, which the rest of it's somewhere else, but I'm not going to try to look. Right now I'm having inner debate with myself when I try to look for that. I don't think the disc really works very well. Visual novels. Yeah, I would definitely recommend Song of Memories and Raging Loop, though I think you'd like Raging Loop a lot better. Nonary games. I think I may have tried to play those at one point. But it's hard to remember. There's so many games I've started and never got back to. I don't think I've seen the anime Given. Haruki Nakagawa. Though for some reason, that makes me think of Akudama Drive. I don't know why. But yeah, I've never seen that anime. Yeah. Because I have the old box set of the... granted, the Evangelion movie didn't come with it. That was like the 10th anniversary, so it came out in 2005. Heck, I have the whole Yu Hakusho DVD collection. Heck, I also describe myself as like, you remember Ernest, B. Worrell, and the Cable Guy from Jim Carrey and Barney. What is his name? He also played the Slinky Dog in Toy Story, but I can't remember his. Jim Barney? I think Jim Barney. Can't read that. It's a BL about a rock band. I don't know what that means. But yeah, this is an art book. Actually, I want to see if that one charging cable will reach. Oh. There we go. It reaches. Computer will not die. Okay. I really need to move some of this stuff so I can have a place to sit down. Here is.
Hi, I'm Teddy. This is the 100th anniversary of the teddy bear. Would you like to know how we got the name Teddy Bear? Well, I'll tell you. The year was 1902, and America's beloved president, Theodore Roosevelt, was on a hunting trip. President Roosevelt was renowned for his hunting skills, but on this particular day, there was no luck to be had. The president's hunting party, fearing his disappointment, captured a little bear cub and tied it to a tree. The president was then called upon to shoot the bear, but with the heart of a true hunter, President Roosevelt refused and ordered the bear set free. Clifford Barrington, a cartoonist for the Washington Post, captured the moment with a wonderful illustration titled Drawing the Line in Mississippi. Seeing the cartoon, a New York store owner, Morris Mitchum, and his wife decided to make bears to sell in their shop. Morris wrote a letter to President Roosevelt asking permission to name his new bear Teddy. The president gave his consent, and we were all called teddy bears from that day on.
Oh. Boys love anime. Shonen-AI. Okay. I have a total of 754 discs in my anime. Wow. I don't know an exact count, but I probably have the same amount just because I have a few stacks of them. So, yeah, I may have bought too much anime. Been collecting since the 6th grade. Yeah, I've been collecting for quite a while too. But yeah, this is a very good visual novel. I would say Song of Memory is good too, but it's more so the first half starts like a sort of a lighthearted dating sim sort of thing, you and a bunch of girls, and then it turns into a zombie horror survival pandemic game. So kind of a genre shift from, lovey-dovey sort of cutesy dating sim to zombie apocalypse and everyone's dying. So yeah, this has a lot of pictures in it. It's an art book that came with it. Some of the stuff's more comical, but some of the stuff's very dark. I will say it's definitely deserves the M rating for this game. Because there's quite a bit of violence. Granted, I will say this. Many people, oh yeah, tentacles. Though it's not a hentai and there are no sex scenes, and there you don't outright see anything gruesome, but I'll say the atmosphere setup is well enough for it to be probably one of the most, I'd say, more unnerving than Deathmark, but I also like the story of Raging Loop a lot better. Like AI Somnium Files, Song of Memories are all good, but yeah, Raging Loop, very good story. It takes a long time to go through, and you may feel that it's not the greatest quality in terms of it's just still pictures for the most part, but I think it's incredible. I think it's the best visual novel out there. Now, Song of Memories, I think came out before VTubers were a thing, and the models for the characters are basically what VTubers are, or at least the best that technologically existed for VTuber technology at the time that the game came out. I still think Dark Rose Valkyrie is kind of an odd game just because it's set basically like there are so many games that are talking about a pandemic that happened right before the actual real world thing happened. So that game, Story's okay. It's just the gameplay is so tedious. Everything gives you a status effect. Do you like dating sims with that kind of twist? Yeah, it comes out of left field if you're not expecting it, but of course it says it's on the book. Oh. You ever had a chance to play this game? It's Brave Fencer Musashi for the original PlayStation. It actually, as you can see here, comes with a demo disc of Final Fantasy VIII. Though I think the best picture really associated with Brave Fencer Musashi is this one here. Yeah, I would say this is the best game on the PlayStation 1. Also has like a little advertisements like Parasite Eve and a few other games on the back. But yeah, you're saving the all-you-can-eat kingdom from the Thirst Quencher Empire. It's lots of food puns. I do like the art style in this book, even the rest of it when it's describing just like here's just it's showing the pickups in the game, but the way it draws it and the ways it talks about it, I think it's very nice. This is a 1997 game. And there's this. It's from the third boss battle of the game. The game actually could have been longer in terms of one, I wanted more, and two, there was a lot of things where you saw they wanted to include extra stuff in the game, but they sort of just ran out of space. I mean, PlayStation discs don't hold so much data. Also, here's a Dragon Ball Z soundtrack, Bruce Faulconer CD. But heck, it's like the original Crash Bandicoot. They were kind of worried it was going to light the PlayStations on fire, and they had to do a lot of workarounds just to make it able to run on a PlayStation. Though, while the newer horror games allow a lot more happen, the low polygon style does allow for more in-depth. Like, it's more of an unsettling feeling it can give you. Though, I did enjoy the original Final Fantasies 4, 5, and 6. Particularly, it's kind of interesting to imagine, like, especially, I played 7, 8, 9 a lot. I probably beat each of those 10 times. But it's hard for me to stay on one game that long anymore. But it's always nice, other than music, just the worlds that are there. Just, granted, they'd be sucky to live in, but I enjoy art. I enjoy the pictures. I rented it from Family Video back in the day. Oh, Brave Fencer Musashi. Xenogears. I've heard good things about that one. Xenosaga fan myself. Oh, Samurai Legend Musashi. Yeah, I played that one. It's okay. It's an okay game. I basically consider it Brave Fencer Musashi 2. It's kind of a spiritual reboot, but it's nowhere near as good as the original Brave Fencer Musashi. I mean, the best way I can describe it is Brave Fencer Musashi's voice acted by professional voice actors from dot hack sign animes and stuff like that. But you remember Tsukasa from dot hack sign? I know that's a bit of an older anime, but yeah. Do you remember Tsukasa? By Samurai Legend Musashi. The voice acting for Musashi was so bad in that one. Whereas you have orchestral music in Brave Fencer Musashi, Samurai Legend Musashi has surf guitar. And Brave Fencer Musashi has like beautiful brushstroke artwork, and Samurai Legend has thick cel-shaded manga style. I do still want a Brave Fencer Musashi 3. Heck, it would be nice if the original Brave Fencer Musashi was available on Steam. I'm not entirely sure my computer would handle it. Heck, I tried to do a Let's Play of Shadow War at one point, but it more so looked like a PowerPoint presentation with a slideshow of Italian stabbing orcs. Though I didn't die a single time in that entire playthrough, though I stopped before the ending of the game, so. Yeah. Oh. The combat's not bad in Samurai Legend Musashi. I just preferred the style and in Brave Fencer. But I will say this. I want a Brave Fencer Musashi 3 on a PS5 or something. And I want it to have better graphics than Elden Ring. I also want a Mega Man Legends 3. Oh, Dot Hack Sign's your favorite anime. Absolute favorite. A Lady Subaru fanboy. I can't blame you there. She's my... I actually made a video where, granted, it's not much in terms of video. It's... I'll post it on my Twitter after I get done with this video. But I did a video where I sang, I think, a song by Stone Sour, or am I thinking of? No, I'm thinking of the video I'm thinking of has Vash the Stampede. It's the scene where he's eating the donuts and all smiley, but of course what's implied by the picture is that if anyone's watched the Trigun anime, is that immediately after that, he's not smiling. Then again, also, I think at the time I uploaded that, there was also a short little 30-second clip thing I did with Plunderer, with Licked Bach. It's a good anime. I think I actually have that over here, along with the Dot Hack Sign stuff, or at least the games. At one point, I tried to do the GU games on my computer, but it was so laggy and framey, I couldn't do it. It was just like, it technically recorded, but everything was moving so slowly. I just couldn't do it. But, all right, yeah. So I'll probably post those 3 at some point. I'll probably start with the one with the Tsukasa. But like I said, I like to sing. I'm terrible at it, but I enjoy singing. That's the thing. I have so many hobbies that I like to try to do. Oh. Yeah, it's awkward questions. Want to see my balls? Yes, I know. Terrible humor. Like I said, I'm trying to do so many things. Like, I'm trying to learn how to draw manga and anime. I'm trying to learn how to speak Japanese. I'm trying to learn how to juggle. Though, honestly, when I was younger, the one thing I would do is sometimes I would take little pieces of paper, like notebook paper, curl it up into a ball, and I would just sort of like bounce it on my hand in the air. And so that doesn't really count as juggling, but yeah. Juggling balls. Look at my balls. Here is a Winnie the Pooh. I should read your comments because I haven't looked in a second. It is nice to actually have things to read here. I enjoy the interaction. If only I could read better through my black screen of a mask. But I definitely can't blame you being a Lady Subaru fanboy. I think everybody in that show is pretty awesome. GU was okay. Oh yeah, the original games were the best. The bad thing is this. GU was 3 separate PS2 games, which you didn't really ever see released here in America until it was, at the PS4 remake. But the original quadrilogy that was on the PS2, which I don't know if you have the original Dot Hack games. Infection, I have those around here somewhere. There's a couple. There. But yeah, Shane, on my Twitter later, I'll post that video with Tsukasa in it. It's a still frame picture of Tsukasa and Subaru. I think I recorded that video about a year, maybe a tiny bit year plus ago. But yeah, do you remember this game? But the bad thing is, like, the original 3 came out here in America. I think it was either $50 each. And they never released the final one in America. It's like, what the hell? With all 7 games, first 4 and 3 GU. Awesome. And thank you. I appreciate that. Glad you like my humor. I try to. There are some videos where I go a bit humor, but there's nothing consistent here. And the only thing consistent actually with my channel is a complete lack of professionalism. I am probably the cringiest person on the internet. And at the end of the day, I'm just a random guy. Like, I enjoy Let's Plays. I enjoyed, like, you remember Proton John SA, Ultra J Man, Cloud 8745, like back before the time that Markiplier existed. And I enjoyed Let's Plays. It's nice. Like, Proton John did stuff like Don't Eat the Mushroom, and he did a lot of stuff with Mario ROM hacks, Super Mario World. Super Mario World is probably the best Mario game. It'd be nice if there was a game like Super Mario World on Steam, or a game like Thumper. Like, that was a good game. I cussed so much at it. One thing I thought was cool, granted, because you have the game disc, and then you have like an anime disc that comes with it too. The books are pretty cool too. I have okay. But yeah, Shane, whenever I finish this video, I'll post that one video of Tsukasa and Subaru on Twitter. I need to have night vision to see through this. Don't have the cases anymore. I have Volume 4 Quarantine. Never released Fragment here, but you can play Fragment on PS2 emulator. It's English patched. They did release Quarantine in US eventually, but I know I never saw it in stores. Because back then granted, I bought some things like the 10 VHS box set Frieza at some point in the past. I know initially when I did start doing some of these live streams, I was trying to read certain books, and of course I'd have the laptop over here and I'd be behind it because I can't read through this. It's too dark. I can't read. Like, I have to like put my face like right up to the computer to be able to read your comments. But so it's like chat's like this. Chat's basically a foreign language from here. I can't read it. I have to like it's so hard to read through this mask. But I don't remember what I was talking about. Shane, what was I talking about? I forgot. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know what we're talking about, what's comfortable. Like I said, I think my short-term memory is getting bad. I may have taken too many concussions. Like, at one point, I got hit by a truck going 75 miles an hour. I couldn't move this arm for a couple months. Had all my ribs bruised. My legs were covered in black and purple bruises. I had like a dozen or so staples across the side of my head. That hurts slightly. So, but then again, maybe it's just age. I'm as old as Gandalf now. There's Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Oh! Watch me struggle to stretch. Here's a fluffy little bunny book. It has stuff in it. Oh, right. That reminds me. Yeah, I was talking about a Winnie the Pooh book. Like, the first couple live streams, I was like reading stuff like, I probably have that book over here too, somewhere. Here. I know one point I was reading this. It was a Savage Worlds Codex Infernus Pathfinder thing, I think. So I read things of just about it. Like, I think the SCP containment video, I think I made that point. Like, that's the worst thing you do to me in a horror movie or situation. Like, here are things to read. I'm like, well, I could run away from the giant, peanut monster, SV like 107 or something. But it's like, oh, look, lore. Like, I have never played the tabletop game Warhammer, but I have like a dozen of the books just to read casually. I'm that much of a nerd. It's like, I don't play the game, but I just like to read the book. I like to read things. Like, I have my Bible. I have tons of anime light novels and stuff like that. I like to read. Oh yeah, there's a Hobbit book. I'm going to have to clean this up later, but probably whenever I finish this stream, I might get a pizza or something. Oh. I don't know if I'll ever drink this, but I think I got this a few months ago. Now, initially when you look at this, this is just what appears to be a very cloudy ramune, which has me worried, given what I find interesting about this. Because it says Satuchi, Nashi, and Ramune. Like, basically, it's like a Japanese golden pear flavor, like some sort of yellow pear that grows in Japan. And that's what this is flavored for. I don't know if I ever drank it because I had it for a couple months. I'm not sure if it's going to expire, but the main thing is where it says it's made. Apparently, this ramune comes from the Hiroshima prefecture of Japan. Now, granted, I'm sure it doesn't have any radiation or anything in this bottle or in that part of Japan anymore. And I'm kind of an asshole for thinking the most interesting thing about this bottle is the fact that this soda was made in Hiroshima or Hiroshima, however you should pronounce that. I'm thirsty. I'm drinking some Sunny D. It's awkward to drink through a mask. My mask is wet. Oh, Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh, you're sharing a Tsukasa video on my Twitter. I look forward to it. But yeah, like I said, whenever I end the video, I'll probably get a pizza, but also probably hop on Twitter and share that one Tsukasa video. Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics is an awesome game. It's a lot like original Shining Force. The original, very first Shining Force 1 for the Sega Genesis. I think it was also on Sega Saturn. But Shining Force 1 is the second best in all the Shining Force games. And it plays like Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, that being said, you have Shining Force 2 and Shining Force 3, which also play like Final Fantasy Tactics, and they're also Sega Genesis, Sega Saturn games. And then you have 4 is, I think, Shining Force Neo, which is, it's okay, I guess. It's just... And then you have Shining Force, which is probably the third best, really, but it's, and I don't really care for 2 and 3. Shining Force 1 is the second best of the games. Shining Force 1, the original, it's got the best story, best gameplay. It's very much like Final Fantasy Tactics. But then, which I'll say is, Final Fantasy Tactics is an amazing game. And like art style, music, gameplay, all around, awesome. Strongly recommend to people. But Shining Force 5, Shining Force EXA for the PS2, probably the best game that's ever been on the PlayStation 2, which is this game. My Musashi discs in there. That's funny. Yeah, this is Shining Force 5, Shining Force EXA. I think it's the best game ever made on the PS2. Second best for the PS2 is Dragon Quest VIII. That's a really good game. Though apparently they did make a new version of it for 3DS that had an additional ending where you got with Jessica, which honestly, yeah, I get that. Jessica's really hot. She is really, really sexy. So, let's see if I can. You're sipping on some coffee. Persona games. Yeah, they're pretty good, though YouTube doesn't like it when you try to Let's Play those games. But, of course, I think like everybody, I think I probably like the 5th one the best, but 3 and 4 are good too. Never really played too much of 1 and 2. Shin Megami Tensei, I've seen some of that, but that tends to have a really, really high difficulty curve. You've only played Neo. The original Shining Forces, yeah. 1, 2, and 3 are okay, but I would say Shining Force 1 plays like Final Fantasy Tactics and is better than Shining Force Neo. But Shining Force EXA is the best of them all. Huh. Shining Resonance Refrain. Never heard of that one. Dragon Quest 8. Princess Medea. I mean, she's okay. She's your only choice in the original PS2 version. But yeah, initially I started doing live streams. I was trying to read these like Winnie the Pooh books, which I'll say this. When I would physically sit down and read those books to a person IRL, I'd be completely calm and happy because I'm reading to a person and, they're happy and giggling and they're enjoying the story. And I'm happy and it's a nice little, I'm enjoying reading the story and they're enjoying listening to it and they're interacting and, it's all a very happy thing. But then I found as I was trying to read said same stories to a computer, it just sort of felt very depressing and lonely. And I felt very angry and sad about it, which unfortunately comes out in my voice in reading those videos that, I definitely sound very agitated and angry because, I'm thinking I'd rather be reading it to a person, IRL, and thinking about those memories. And I was like, oh, it's kind of sad. Granted, I can still, like from time to time in the future, I'll still be able to read to that person. But it's just reading to a computer in that situation just it just felt very agitated. And it comes out of my voice a bit too much in the video. Just because it's kind of depressing that I'm just reading to a computer. It's like a sad face. Oh, the last chapter, the dragon stuff. I'll say this. I think with the PS2 version of the game, I played it twice. The first time I only played to beat the Dragovian stuff, just the trials, just enough to get the second ending, and that was it. I think that probably took me 150 hours. After that, I was able to buy a actual guide to the game, and I went back through. It probably took me about 300 hours. And I went through and got everything, and it was still, especially that very final trial with that dragon. Though, of course, I never actually played the 3DS version where they had, but I'm not even sure the 3DS can actually hold all that, but so they probably had to cut some content other places. But, whew. Here's Outlaw Star. I think this is a very good anime. I think Outlaw Star and Trigun are in the same tier of anime. Heck, I think I remembered way back when I actually managed to memorize back when I was a teenager, the Outlaw Star ending with Melfina. I don't know what words I can say. The wind has a way to talk to me. Flowers sing a silent lullaby. I pray for reply. I'm ready. Quiet day calms me. Oh, serenity. Someone, please tell me, what is it they're saying? Maybe you'll know one day. It kind of reminds me. I remember, I like all the Gundam animes except for the Gundam SD or Gundam Seed animes. Those were kind of dumb. But I remember all the old school Gundams, really awesome, and of course Gundam Wing, and there's Gundam Mobile Suit, Neo, and all that. They made a ton of Gundam, but for some reason that reminded me of G Gundam. That was pretty interesting. Particularly the Serenity, Master Gundam fight. But then again, there's Serenity by Godsmack. Not the one. No, that's the Voodoo. How does Serenity go again? No, I've sung that before for a video. I don't know. You're gonna hum along. I'm glad you can hum along. Oh, the REM song, Dragon. It's also a really good one. Yeah, I would listen to Korn, Rammstein, Pokemon soundtracks, Dragon Ball Z soundtracks, some Final Fantasy soundtracks. You remember Final Fantasy movie, The Spirits Within? There was 16 classical songs that were part of that soundtrack. Then there were 2 vocal songs part of that soundtrack. I think I'll try to I don't think I've sang those songs. If I have, I don't remember what video it'd be in. Because I know there were some songs where I'd do 4 or 5 hours of singing, and it would just be random stuff. So I wouldn't really know. Because like I said, most part the karaoke is it's improv. I'm not really practicing things, even though I should. Then again, let's be clear, no amount of practice is going to make me better. But I just like to sing. It's not because here's the thing: if I was going to be okay, I'm only going to record the video if it's going to be perfect. Okay, we're only going to have the singing of the song if it's perfect. If that was the case, I would never make a single video. It would never be perfect. And every time I do it, I would find another thing wrong with it. Hey, that's the whole issue with the VTuber model. Just trying to make it have nothing. It's and even then, it's not like I'm spending money on it. I'm just using the bare minimum, basic, cheap, free version that's available. Heck, OBS, my recording software. It's just the built-in stuff. It's the free stuff you can just download for free from OBS. You don't have to pay for it anything. So I can't complain if I'm using the absolute bare minimum for it. But it's like I said, if I made that decision when it came to singing karaoke, I like to sing karaoke, but I'm terrible at it. My voice is epilepsy for ears. It's I'll say several times, if you have a little dog or cat or nearby, put an earmuffs on so they don't start bleeding out of your ear. Oh, look, you don't know sense making little puppy dogs cry. But it's just I can't sing, but I enjoy it. It's I have all these hobbies. I'm terrible at all of them, but I like just doing them to do them. They're never going to be I'm never going to be good enough at guitar to actually do anything with it other than just casually play it and enjoy it for myself. But that's fine. That's all I want to do with it. I just want to relax, and it's sometimes I'll lay and just listen to music or play a game. And sometimes it's heck, I'll say this, I'll yell at video games like Super Meat Boy or Splasher or Jubilee or Thumper, and they're quite the rage games. But I'll say this, it's not it's a big deal. It's a video game. A video game doesn't make a big difference. It's not part of your life. It doesn't make a difference one way or another if you lose terribly at the game or if you beat it with a 100% and you're the best in the world at it. It's just a game. But I'll say this, one, it's amazing fun. It's escapism sometimes. It's just enjoyment. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes some games it's cool that you have a story, some it's not. Again, each game's a different flavor you like. Here, take chocolate and spiciness. I like spicy foods. I like chocolate, but both together is disgusting. But as far as trying to remember what I'm talking about. At one point I tried to do a movie review of Bullet Train with Brad Pitt, and it's a half hour of me. I swear I do not have ADHD. I swear I don't. I've never been diagnosed of it, so it means I don't. But it's just I can't stay on one topic, and then I keep forgetting things, and what was I talking about? Can't remember. Movies, music. I don't know. I can't remember. Want to sing the beginning from the One OK Rock? Haven't heard of that. That song, the ending theme for the live-action Rurouni Kenshin movie. Heard there were a lot of anime movies tend to be terrible just because you can't do much. Say, how on earth would you do, say, One Piece? Imagine the cost of just making Luffy's powers work in film. Whereas at least Rurouni Kenshin, there's just a bunch of people with swords. But Rurouni Kenshin's a really good one. I liked season 1 the best. Season 2 and 3, I can't say I really got into much right. Singing from StreamYard. Okay, I look forward to that. If you ever do, let me know. I'll check them out. Chili flavored chocolate bars, okay. Yeah, like I said, I can understand some people liking that mixture of stuff. By the way, what was I talking about earlier at some point? But I know I'm not staying on one subject. But I was talking about something and I can't remember what it was. I need a roadmap to keep track of what the hell I'm talking. I need like a little navvy floating around with a whiteboard to tell me like this is what you were talking about. Like, okay, thank you. I get lost easily. Heck, my sense of direction's bad, which is funny. I'm an Eagle Scout, and yet I have a terrible sense of direction. Then again, any skill you don't use, like I did so much camping, I've learned one thing: I don't want to ever fucking camp again. I like my queen size mattress, and I like to be able to roll around on my comfy bed and my floofy blankets and my big fan. Heck, I have this thing from 2005. I have to bag around this because my name's on it. So, heck, like I said, at one point I was considering just doing a little house tour, and this would have been sitting out. So this thing could be a weapon. I mean, holy, it's metal and it's pointy. Damn. What were they thinking when they made this? Damn. It's like, oh, look how aerodynamic it is. But yeah, honestly, like I was considering doing a little house tour. Like it's my room, my son's room, the living room downstairs, kitchen. But one, I'd have to cover up a bunch of pictures in a plastic bag, and two, just that's too personal, and I don't really want to do that because I don't feel comfortable with that. And I'm not going to do anything I don't feel comfortable with. Just Dragon Ball GT. I like GT better than Super. I still think it'd be nice if like the end of Super ties into GT. Heck, what if Ox King? Like, yeah, Dragon Ball GT. Liked it. There's actually a Dragon Ball AF out there. And then, oh, here's the clone I wear. It's a glass canister. It looks like a gun revolver. Granted, I tried a few other clones. No, I wear a cheaper clone to work, like the bod stuff. But when I'm out and about, I'll wear this mostly. But I might wear a little bit of some other stuff like Ferragamo or Mont Blanc Red. But this will be the main thing I tend to wear. This is called the Azzaro, Azzaro. It's like a glass gun revolver. I don't know how to describe the smell. You can buy it at Walmart or any place at a mall that sells cologne. Yeah, it's called Azzaro, Azzaro, the Azzaro Wanted Collection. So that's what I smell like pretty much. Though I do have a bunch of incense stuff and stuff that smells like dragon's blood and lavender, and I like things that smell nice. That's one thing. Never been to an anime convention, but I've heard people smell it when they go to those things. And I don't understand that. Because if you're going to go somewhere, like, I like to smell nice. Heck, I take like 15 showers a week, and I tend to wear decent. I wear two different types of deodorant at a time. I'll wear a stick deodorant and then put spray deodorant on top of it. And of course, I got cologne. Though I'll wear the cheap stuff to work because it's work. You know, the difference between work and going out just to a store and, of course, going and doing something social. I'm antisocial, but I try to be sociable. My whole life is a fucking paradox in terms of how I am. So many books and things. And here's the thing. I had to put some things back just to give myself a spot to sit. Could be a arm. I don't think I'd be able to see past it. I'm just going with your flow. It's similar to my flow. Then I don't know how you and I would have conversations in real life in the forever. Like we'd both just be making hand movements and getting way too into stuff and getting lost. Could you imagine that? Like if like you, me, and a bunch of other people like that were actually in a live video thing, all talking to each other. We'd all be talking over each other constantly. Because here's the thing. I'm the only one talking right now, and I'm talking over myself nonstop. Because I can't stay on one subject. Like in real life, I'll try to order my stuff based on what the other person's saying. And it's just like, I'm a bit too chaotic with the way I talk about things. Which is just odd. It's just like, like I said, I do not have ADHD. Not that there's anything wrong with someone having ADHD. I don't. But it's just I get too overly enthusiastic sometimes. But then again, my mood will kind of shift on certain things, or it's not necessarily like personality, mood, whatever. Just like it's like sometimes I'll get way too overly into something, and then other times, I'll be more happy, more sad, more angry, more paranoid, more. There are times where I might be more catatonic and just kind of withdrawn and sad and to myself, and I don't control. It's like my voice timbre will change from time to time, and it's like we get more to it, I can change it. I feel silly. Neat. When you need that one shot, try a Zaro. Is that an actual thing? Quotations, HET exclamation quotations. Listen. I don't know what that means. I just use Old Spice. Old Spice isn't bad. It's more or less follow the leader. Well, yeah, it basically is. It's just, I'm kind of chaotic. You mellow it out. Yeah. I've really stayed the same my entire life, though. Granted, like I said, I'll shift a lot from day to day. But for the most part, I'm still the same. I'm still the same dumb kid who talked to his stuffed animals as a child. So, for the most part, my personality, like I'm 36, and honestly, my personality is the same as it was when I was 6. Then again, I was watching like stuff about Bible stories and Hellraiser even then. So, I've had quite a lot of interest in a huge variety and eclectic range of genres of movies, art, music. I don't know. Spent a lot of time in church, though I also checked out just about every other church I could possibly meet to and talk to people of different viewpoints of other religions. And it's just like, I'm a person who's very religious. I believe strongly in God, but just about every preacher I know would consider that I'm a heretic pretty much, and I'm going to burn in hell. Just because, one of the biggest things preachers would get upset at me, even as a small child, is I would keep asking questions about everything. Like I would just nuances of things of the Bible and stories that are like, no, you're not supposed to ask about that. Like, well, I'm going to ask about this. But I mean, I don't know. I think that's the way it should be, though. Whether it comes to a person's personality or, heck, religion or even politics. There's a lot of nuances stuff. I mean, heck, there's so many people out there nowadays. Like, everyone's yelling and arguing with each other. It's like everything's so polarized. Like, no one seems to be able to have a civil conversation with each other out there anymore. Like, heck, you'll even overhear people just talking about it. And it's like I understand it's an emotionally driven subject for a lot of people, but it's just like no one cares to see things or hear things from the other person's point of view. Like, no one wants to try to actually have a conversation with other people. It's just like everyone feels it's like it's my way or you're evil. And it's like, what the fuck is this? Why can't we just have a normal conversation and try to like understand each other? But it's like everyone's so pissed at each other all the time. Heck, if you like even kids in primary school and elementary school, like you overhear them, they're talking about politics and stuff. And it's like, what the fuck? When I was that age, all I knew was Bill Clinton was president. The end. Let's go watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know. It's like people feel like you have to be part of one camp or another. Like, oh, you're either left or you're right. You're either this or you're that. Like, there's nuances. Like, you can be a person that, has, viewpoints and perspectives and just beliefs about each individual group. And like, it's more so, it's not like you're one group or the other. It's not like, are you group A or group B? It's more like, hey, you're a mix of several hundred different viewpoints that don't really belong to any one group. A lot of that, it's just people have nuances. It's not cut and dry. It's not black and white. I mean, hell, life's just not a never-ending stream of just gray, let alone orange and blue morality. It's just, I don't know. It's just everyone wants to shove everything into its own little box, and it's like life isn't that cut and dry. People have different beliefs in certain things, and they have reasons for that. And I don't know, people should just be able to talk about it and have it's not like it's a competition where oh, I have to win, you have to win, and whoever wins this conversation wins whatever. I don't know. It should be hey, we're just going to have a nice conversation and we're going to try to gain something from each other. Hey, I'm going to gain a little insight in what your thoughts and feelings are. You'll gain a little bit of insight of my thoughts and feelings. And, it's not supposed to be win or lose. It's supposed to be, at the end of the day, people are supposed to be able to try to understand each other more. Granted, this is hypocritical coming from the person with severe paranoia to where sometimes I'll sit at a restaurant watching in case everyone suddenly gets up and tries to run at me to stab me to death. Again, the person with the mental illness should not be criticizing. I shouldn't be the sane one. Right, there's a computer. Sorry, I got kind of can't read. Hey, listen, Navi. Ocarina of Time. Right, when I mentioned the Tinkerbell with the little fairy with the whiteboard. Yeah, I probably really do need one of those in real life. Me too. I go to church, believe in Jesus and God, but I am also gay. Yeah, like I said, I don't see anything wrong with that. And like I said, I've tried to. Heck, if you look through the Twitter, there are some posts where I went into one point I made a 22 or 23 part post where I was talking about different aspects of that. Because at the end of the day, it's just the biggest reason for people not to be gay in the past is that there was no condoms, there's no antibiotics, there's no modern medicine. But the biggest thing of all is that your tribal society fighting against other tribal societies. The only way you survive as a society is by constantly making more people. You needed to make people, to fight wars or to be bigger than your nations or to have people to do work and jobs. Plus, at the end of the day, is if you can legally control who's allowed to have sex with who and who's allowed to get married, then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the common person disagrees with the government. At the end of the day, if the government says who you can marry or not, well, you know what that means? It means, one, you do what the government says, or you're not allowed to have a spouse. And a lot of times, it makes it easier to control people. At the end of the day, though, is this, I don't know. I understand to a degree you do need a government and stuff, but sometimes I feel fuck the government. It's kind of the whole marriage thing. It's one, I'm against people of any gender, any sexuality getting married just because, one, it makes it hard for a person to get away from someone who's abusive. Also, I don't want the government involved in my fucking personal life. Hell, the government shouldn't be involved in schools. For the most part, whether it comes to government, ideologies, sex, sexualities, gender identity, any of this stuff. It shouldn't be in school around kids. Kids are kids. Kids, when I was a kid, all I knew was Bill Clinton's president. That's it. That's all it should be. Just, you go to school, you learn how to read, write, you learn maybe some foreign languages. We need more of that in America. And just math, science. These art and stuff is just, you shouldn't have the political leader. Even back then, you'd have George W. Bush sitting and reading to kids at the school. And you remember that one video, when 9/11 happened and stuff? It's just I don't know, politics shouldn't be in school. At least not until maybe college, or then it just, kids are kids. And even then, school's meant to be a place where you learn about math and stuff, if you're going to be a scientist or something. It shouldn't be it should be education, not indoctrination. Hell, I think Pink Floyd talked a lot about that stuff. Then again, a lot of times back then, it's like it's more like the school system was meant to just like get you drudged into that role of just, hey, spend these 8 hours every day at a place so you get ready to work in a fucking factory or a office for the rest of the time. Heck, I have made a joke though. It might, like, since I work in a factory, I build T800s. I work for Skynet, so I build T800s. But at some point, maybe I'll get a job at like an office or something. So I watched movies like Office Space or Fight Club to have a sort of idea of how I'm supposed to behave. So Office Space and Fight Club might be the best way to, like, for me to understand how to behave in an office corporate setting. But yeah, it's just like the way I look at it is this. I believe in God, but I have enough faith in God to feel that God's going to have compassion for people. Because heck, you ever watching those horror movies where people have the most horrendous, horrible things happen to them? I mean, even in the context of that, I mean, how can it be justifiable for someone to be tortured like that? It doesn't accomplish anything. It's just a fear tactic. At that point, it just amounts to do what you're told or I'll hurt you. Except in this situation is I'll hurt you a lot for a very long time. That's... How can that be anything other than cruelty? How can that be anything other than just fear-mongering and just trying to control people that way? Even if that's literally... It just... And like I said, the stuff with the past is more so just they wanted to keep populations high because you were fighting against other groups of people. And it makes it easier for government. Granted, tithing back then with the church, that was the taxing because the church was the government. But it's just... And nowadays, I don't really want to give anything to church because all the fucking preachers and pastors assholes. They piss me off. And it's just, I don't like any of them. And it just, none of them, just a bunch of arrogant assholes. It's just, people piss me off with that shit. It's like, but it's just like, I don't know, everyone's too damn judgmental. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with people being gay. It's not hurting anyone. So I don't... And heck, they go the whole thing about Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's like, yeah, God nuked those cities because those cities were known for being violent. They were cities full of murderers and rapists and highwaymen. That's why they were destroyed. And people say, oh, well, they attacked the angels because they were gay. It's like, oh, you fucking assholes. Your sexuality does not affect you as a person. It doesn't change who you are as a person. And it sure as hell doesn't mean that you're violent or some shit. It just changes who you're attracted to. But they try to make it sound like some sort of horrible thing. It's just people trying to have loving, caring relationships. I mean, what is so fucking wrong of people just wanting someone just to love and care about, to have a healthy, happy relationship with someone? I don't know. I'm really getting... Sorry, I need to remember that. Where was this? Religion doesn't mind being questioned because it's faith. Yeah, like I said, I think people should be able to have open conversations about everything. But at the end of the day, I believe in God, but I don't think anyone should punish this world or the next for who they do or don't believe in. And I don't think there's anything wrong with people being gay or any of that. But it's just like, then again, at the same time, I don't think really stuff should be involved in church anyway. Like, I mean, if you're a guy and a girl and you're a church, you're not going to have your wife suck your dick in the middle of the church. So regardless of it being heterosexual or homosexual, it shouldn't be, out there in front of everyone. I mean, it's everyone's personal, private lives. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with showering, but I'm certainly not going to walk around naked outside. So hard to read through this. With the polarized thing, it used to be one way, angry, and then I started taking a step back and found myself wanting to be the healer. Yeah, I mean, heck, in general, I tend to feel that way. But it's just like a lot of people tend to criticize me because I want to, like, I've always been the kind of person to want to try to be peaceful and non-violent people. Granted, I have had to be violent in some situations, but that was always in self-defense. I was either protecting myself or protecting somebody else. And usually there's situations where if I hadn't acted, I might not be here today. So, you know, but in general, I don't like being violent. I do well have violent fantasies and think about stuff, but that's more so just because I just feel really emotionally hurt from, the way people treated me in the past. And just laying down, listening to music and thinking about, some sort of violent fantasy like a Grand Theft Auto sort of thing, it makes you feel a little bit better. It's a good way to vent anger. It allows you to express that emotion. It allows you to, I'm pretty sure your body pumps some endorphins and dopamine for it. Same way if you listen to like sad nightcore music and you sort of lay there and cry. Like, wouldn't do it outside because that just wouldn't be a comfortable environment for it. But you can do it at home, and just that way you can vent those emotions and be able to function better as a person, as a productive member of society. It's nothing wrong with having those emotions. It's kind of the thing of like, one point, like, again, I'm not OCD, but maybe compulsively obsessive, but there's a difference. One means I can hide it. I can hide that, like, I think about stuff a lot. Like, I wrote a list like 200 deadly sins at one point. Like, of course, the 9 deadly sins. Let's see. Pride, lust, greed, envy, wrath, sloth, gluttony, melancholy, vanity. I mean, each of these things are more like human survival characteristics. They're things that you have to do for both the survival of the individual and of the species. But even then, these are things that even if we lived in like heaven, you would still need to do this stuff. Like, you need to be able to feel emotions like anger and sadness in order to, stay human. It allows you to be empathetic. It allows you to understand each other's emotions. It allows you to communicate with one another. It allows you to love and care about one another. A lot of people rag on lust, but one, there's nothing wrong with having a, sex drive or wanting to be, close to somebody else, especially even if you take it to the lowest common denominator of just hugs and head pats and shaking someone's hand and high five and just human contact. Most animals, if you deprive them of touch, wind up killing themselves. Like, most animals they've made various unethical experiments with it, both with humans and with, like, there's a thing where, you took monkeys and you put them in a pit called the pit of despair, and you deprive them of all light, and you just wire stuff down by machine to feed them. And eventually they just, like, their metabolisms just sort of shut off. Like, there's still enough food to feed them. It's just sensory deprivation and touch deprivation and interaction deprivation. Granted, human beings, you don't want them to be too anxious either. You don't want to be constant. We're not worker bees. We're not like bees. Bees and ants are colony animals, and other things are solitary. Humans are somewhere in the middle. We need our alone time sometimes, but we also need human contact. But we definitely wouldn't be okay with large groups of people. Heck, anytime you take the prison population, you take a large group of people in close proximity to each other where they can't get away from each other, they tend to develop more mental illness that way. Then there's the thing where you took, monkeys, and you took them away from their parents, and you put them in an experiment with, one wired monkey with a bottle and one that was cloth. They would go to the wired one just to get something to drink, but then they would go to the cloth one and spend most of their time with that, showing that they needed, contact and touch in order to function. The problem is, whenever you try to reintroduce these monkeys to other monkeys, they either kill themselves or everyone else. Granted, human beings are much more complex and we're much more capable of understanding and controlling our own emotions and motivations. But the main point is this. Any living thing requires to have emotions, as well as, human contact, as well as to feel safe and to feel loved and cared about, or else it's going to eventually have some sort of problem. So, even if we're all in a perfect situation where none of us are in pain and are immortal, I mean, you're still going to need human contact and feelings. Otherwise, all the humans in heaven are eventually going to become psychopaths or emotionally devolve into robots. It's, and of course, yes, we're not exactly stable. Human beings are going to, but it's just, I mean, some of the literal interpretations of that would actually sound just as bad as hell. Then again, there was an experiment once where you had a bunch of college students and you made them some of them were guards and some of them were prisoners. And they got so into their role, even though they were, just friends and classmates a week ago. They got so into it that the people that were the guards actually started becoming physically abusive toward that's the thing. Hell, in modern day, a lot of people get into stuff like all about race or religion. It's more so just class. I mean, a lot of people wind up going into these little boxes that society tries to put you into, and then they wind up becoming aggressive toward other people based off of that. And even like I said, for an experiment, like these are just college kids. And then they just become so enraptured in their role that they just sort of lose track of who and what they are outside of it. They become the role, and everything else ceases to exist. Right? There was a experiment back in the 70s saying, like, okay, how did the Nazis why were they able to do what they did? And what they did is they took people off the street and said, hey, we're going to have a little experiment. We want to see how negative reinforcement helps with people learning. So they took the people and they said, okay, you're going to help us run this experiment, and we're going to pay you to do it. And what you do is you're going to sit here and you read these questions. And this person on the other side, well, they're going to answer them. And if they get it wrong, you'd administer an electric shock to them. And every time they get it wrong, you'll turn up the voltage. Now, of course, the person on the other side was not getting shocked at all. They were an actor. They were in on the whole thing. The person being tested was the person being told that they were the assistant. And what it was is, and of course they test to see how varied, if the person was on an intercom, or how well you could physically see the person you were shocking, as well as if, and they found, especially if you had the person having you come in to do the test was standing behind you wearing the full-on scientist outfit, wearing proper, authoritative clothing and a clipboard, people are a lot more likely. And they found, what was it, like 70+% of people were willing to keep doing the shock up to the point that it killed the person. Granted, no one actually died. The person was an actor. But up till then, last few shocks, they were complaining about their heart hurting and it hurting so much and they were in a lot of pain. And the person with the clipboard kept on, no, keep running the experiment, keep going, and there's sometimes the person be worried, like, don't worry, we're the officials here. What you're doing helps everyone. Also, if anything bad were to happen, we'll be the ones responsible, not you. And they found, the person just kept going, even to the point that the other person would die. Granted, again, nobody died. It was acting. But it's kind of like the Hellraiser movies. It's kind of like, how could you possibly justify an existence of something like a hell when you look at this and like, nobody in the history of the humanity deserves to be treated like that. No one deserves to suffer like that. And I understand there might be sometimes people who are angry. I mean, I'm angry sometimes too, and there's times I've wanted to deck people in the face. But, usually people when they're emotional and angry aren't thinking clearly. But what's the point of torturing someone for all eternity? Because here's the thing. Even if you were to take the nicest person in the world and were to torture them, you'd eventually break them and turn them into a complete monster. It would just mean hell is more of a demon factory. Heck, there's the Hypercube movies. There's Cube, Hypercube, all that. The Cube Zero. But one of them, I think, had the actor from the Stargate series that played Daniel. He was also in Stargate Atlantis. But heck, I think Picard does a bunch of little speeches in Star Trek Next Generation, which hit on the same thing. Heck, even the the actors who played Pinhead, Freddy Krueger, Freddy Krueger, and of course the guy from the Saw movies, John Kramer, they're all very much anti-violence, anti-torture, anti-war. And it's like they'll play, these fucked up villains in movies. But in real life, they're the nicest people you've ever met. And they're some of the biggest advocates of, nonviolence. Heck, I play cringy movies. I play cringy game. I am cringy. But like I'm an advocate of like people caring about mental health and suicide prevention and, trying to be better to everyone out there in the world. But yeah, like these guys are like the nicest people you ever would have fucking met. But they enjoy, like I said, it's like Jim Barney, where like as Ernest, where he's like wearing all the different masks and getting into I'm the same thing, whether it's now granted the Jim Carrey cable guy thing's a little bit more of a mental illness thing. Of course, it's a movie. And of course, it kind of applies to me since I do watch a lot of movies and anime, and I do kind of apply that to just how I interact with people to a degree. But yeah, like Jim Barney, like at one point, like I'm a fusion of Jim Carrey's cable guy and Jim Barney's Ernest P. Worrell in terms of just how much I'll get into just talking about things like that and just, going from, and it's like, granted, I would be terrible in an actual movie actor thing because I would never actually play the role that they would want me to play because I just hop back and forth to whatever I feel like doing. So I'm an asshole. But it's just, heck, it's just the stuff that happens in the Hellraiser movie, like, or like the Q movie. The person escapes and like the final question is like, "Do you believe in God?" It's like, "No, how can I believe in God?" And they'd roast him alive with a flamethrower. And it's just like, But heck, even like, and here's the thing, like take Hellraiser. Hellraiser, the actor for Pinhead, the actor for Freddy Krueger, the actor for the Saw movies. I mean, they even put it like in the context of the Saw movies. Like that's not how you would help somebody with trauma. You're just making it worse. That's just going to make it so much worse. That's not how you help people. At the end of the day, the best way to help people is to make them feel safe and just talk to them about things and allow them just to work through it in a safe, comfortable environment. But of course, blood and violence and cool engineering tech devices sell a lot more. People are not going to watch a movie about, happy, healthy, normal ways. Hell, that's one reason why we're a more polarized society. Like the algorithms tend to push things more to what will emotionally trigger you. Or take mainstream media. They'll always it's a rating system. They're not going to talk about stuff that whether based on truth or on keeping the public informed. It's going to be whatever they're paid to say and whatever gets the most views so they can drive up money and get money for advertising and sponsors and shit. Heck, there was a movie, I think, in the 1970s with a guy named Sidney Loomis. He did a speech on YouTube called The Tube Lies, where the main point is that the television, even back then in the 70s, it's like, even back then in the 70s, you had whole generations that television is all they ever knew. And granted, TV internet's awesome. It's a collection of all the greatest libraries of information on the planet. Grantedly, 95% of that library is all porn. Humanity has their priorities, I guess. I mean, I can't knock it because I enjoy that segment of human history. I enjoy a lot of hentai. I have hentai games. But I can't play on YouTube because YouTube would not be okay with that. Plus, it would just be kind of awkward. But that being said, it's all the books and knowledge. And heck, if you want to learn any language, you can just look up vocabulary like, oh, you'll learn Japanese, you'll learn Hebrew, you'll learn Chinese. So, oh yeah, the Hellraiser thing. Aside from the actor is like one of the biggest advocates of against torture and hell and like it's wrong. It's not justifiable to hurt people like that, no matter what they've done. But on top of that, in the context of the movie, the character, I think it's Elliot Spencer, who becomes Pinhead, literally becomes it because he goes through World War I and becomes so traumatized from seeing tens of thousands of people die and horrible horrors that are trench warfare. And granted, it's good that we have movies like, we have documentaries like with Patton and War I, War II, and stuff about the Holocaust, what was it? Schindler's List. Heck, even movies that portray stuff from Greek myths are very interesting to learn from. Like, take the Odyssey. There's a movie that came out in 1995 called The Odyssey. It had Armand Assante. Actually, it's the second best movie ever made. It's 3 hours long. But yeah. It's called The Odyssey and stars Armand Assante. And I think one good verse, one part of it is toward the end, the last half hour of it. He winds up telling his son, there's a time and a place for anger. Base saying is this: anger and violence in of themselves are not bad. They're not evil. There is a time and a place where anger and violence and even killing someone may actually be necessary. But of course, this is coming from a perspective of several thousand years ago. But of course, the more things change, the more they stay the same. No matter what, we're still humans. We're still interacting with each other. Speaking of which, I kind of forgot there's a computer here, and I've just sort of been talking to myself and forgot that there was one. Sorry, Shane, I just sort of forgot you were there. I just sort of kept talking. But the Hellraiser thing is just like, one, soldiers definitely do need better therapy and emotional help with things. Because here's the thing, I could never imagine going to the military with that sort of stuff. Because one, I already have been yelled at enough in my life. I don't need to have a drill sergeant yell at me. And two, it's just, I don't want to be in a situation where people are trying to hurt me or I'm expected to hurt other people. I mean, Graham, yes, it's a necessary part of life. I mean, we do need a functioning military. And the people that are in it, I mean, it's brave of them to do it. I mean, it's a terrible thing, to have to endure being shot at. I don't think I would ever be able to handle that. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'd have a complete mental breakdown. Granted, I've had mental breakdowns about other things, but it doesn't change my point. Is emotionally, I don't think I'd be able to handle it, and I wouldn't want to. It's just, the main thing of the Hellraiser movie is that, one, to have more kindness and compassion and empathy toward other people, that hell isn't right, that there's no reason to torture people like that. There's no reason, like even if it's like Hitler, just have him not exist. When he died, his soul doesn't exist anymore. There's no reason to keep someone in existence just to hurt them. There's no reason to harm people. And yes, I understand people that have suffered from that would want that, but of course, that's understandable. They went through horrible shit. They're going to be pissed. But it's just, I don't want people to hurt each other. I want a peaceful world where we can all just watch horror movies and Pokemon and listen to Rammstein and Korn and play Grand Theft Auto and video games and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and RPGs and make cringy-ass, stupid South Park-related jokes to each other and all live in peace and nobody hurts each other. We can all make cringy, stupid jokes to each other. None of us get offended at each other. And we all just mean well toward each other. Also, ice cream's awesome. Definitely need to eat that pizza at some point. I gotta decide where I'm gonna buy it from. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh. Hi Shane. I don't know if you're still there or not. Let me see if I can catch up on. Okay, there. I'm like Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 10. Yeah, you mentioned that. More of a male version of that. That sounded really hot. I want to hug those angry people, even those who consider me anything. I mean, that is kind of what Jesus was saying. Just that, there's too much fucking anger out there. Granted, I mean, I don't know. Why can't we all just watch G Gundam and together and all just be happy and peaceful together? The world needs a bit more love in it. Agreed. Preach. Keep it simple in the schools. Yeah. I need a skill. I just do security. Lack of hospitality, exactly. That's all I want, to make breakfast for my lover one day. Yep. My love language is touch. Yeah, I think humans need it. Acts of service is my second. True. Backslash, LOL. Okay. Well, I'm caught up on I don't know if you're still there or not, Shane. Which, What? I kind of went off there for a little bit and sort of forgot that the computer was there. So, sorry. Sorry to future people that ever watched the video. I should probably try to finish this video. I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about or why. Here's boobs. It's from Senran and Kaga. Oh, you're enjoying it. That's good. I'm glad you are. Like I said, I feel more like me talking about this stuff is just alienating everyone because I'm such a random son of a bitch. Like, I can't stay on one topic. Well, that was... What? This actually hurts my hip to sit like this. But I am glad you're enjoying it. That's the thing. For the most part, I do these videos just to be because I just want to talk to my computer and play games and sing and stuff. I'm mainly just doing it for myself. But if other people enjoy it, that's awesome. And I'm definitely do like it if other people actually do enjoy it. Also hurts my shoulder. I will have to fix that later. I think the rest of this day is going to be, I'm going to try to go through the rest of this and then probably get a pizza, pop on Twitter for a moment, watch some anime and some Let's Plays, take a nap, go to work, and then get home from work and probably, but hopefully I don't have too much overtime this upcoming week. Dislike working overtime. Oh, do you remember, Shane, do you remember Princess Mononoke? It's actually the first anime I ever watched. I'll say this, I like Star Wars, but Spaceballs. I think John Candy is probably the first Star Wars movie I ever watched. This guy probably started with a parody. I'm going to clean this up so I won't really have time. So I'm just going to be leaving a mess here for a while. Oh, adorable. Yeah, I know. I agree. It's very quiet. Yeah, Studio Ghibli is really good. Oh, that hurts so fucking bad. Oh. 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 Fuck. Oh. I need to move some things so I can sit that way. Apparently, I don't know the meaning word obsessive. Also, here's a Cthulhu book. It's really long. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I hope it feels better too. Here's a Trunks box set. I know in a few live streams ago, I actually tried one of these from a mall. Here recently at Walmart, this one's called Yuzu. And the mall would have a couple of these, the original and the spicy, but here at Walmart, they have these now. So there's Yuzu, which is more of a soy sauce sort of flavor with a little bit of a fruity accent, I guess. It's really good, actually. Actually, I'd say it's probably a better alternative to soy sauce. Not out of health. It's probably just as unhealthy. But it tastes good. But yeah, this is actually at Walmart now. Yuzu, original and spicy. Though I'd say original is best. Spicy's okay. It's more so just jalapeno flavor added to it. But the original Japanese barbecue sauce is the best. Oh. This is Ziggy. Oh. Here's Rudolph the reindeer. He's really awesome. I'm going to go put him back in his seat. He has a chair in one of the rooms. Oh, fuck. Here's a tiny Winnie the Pooh. Here's the thing with some Dragon Ball Z cards, which I had a bunch of them. Final Fantasy Advent Children. PS2 game. Star Ocean Till the End of Time. The DVZ CD. DVD. You know what I mean. Slayer's Light Owl. Soul Eater manga. I actually have several thousand of these, but here's just one little box of magic cards. I'm not going to go through them because several thousand cards takes a while to go through. Here's the thing when I bought some Tool CDs and it has some stuff there. And it also has like this stuff. So I thought there was another thing that came with that that was supposed to be used with that. You know, the Slayers has like it was originally based off light novels. They made a lot of light novels, like especially a lot of the stuff of Naga the Serpent, which is think of like a 6.5 foot tall goth girl wearing goth bikini outfit with giant tits. Naga the Serpent. Usually there are several Slayers movies, same way there were several Tenchi Muyo movies. And but they made like this was season 1 and there's season 2 and 3. Season 1, Shabarano and Brezzo. Season 2 was Gov and Phil Brizo and Lord of Nightmares. And season 3 was stuff with Volgov and all that stuff and dragons. Now, of course, they made like 3 additional seasons, which were sort of redos of the initial seasons, like Revolution and Slayers R and stuff like that. Though there was this, granted, there's lots of fan fictions out there. There's lots of things like Shinji and Warhammer 40k. It's a story of Shinji finding a Warhammer case, all the Warhammer books, and it changing the entire course, which is an extremely long. And of course, there's light novels of things like Reincarnated Slime and Overlord. But there was fan fictions of, granted, there was one called of Slayers, one called Demiurge, where it followed off season 3 of just, Lena grew up and, became a shopkeeper. Her and Guri got married, had a child named Penny. There's also Slayers Virtual, was a retelling as a steampunk, cyberpunk version of the original Slayers. And then there was Reflection, Chaos, and Rebirth, written by a person called Tu Florian, which I don't know if that even exists out there on the internet anymore. And if it does, it might be overcome with viruses by now. But the person wrote 3 full-length novels, which honestly I would think should be the canon continuation of the actual Slayers story. Then again, it wouldn't be against Virtual being animated either. That was pretty cool. I got to drive to work, but I will have my phone on, my mount, and listening to you. Slayers classic. Ever watch Rune Soldier? No, I don't think I've watched Rune Soldier. And if there's part of this you want to catch in the future, I mean, like I said, there's a live, on the channel, you just click live videos, and there'll be a bunch of other videos where I've done live streams. So if you do want to try to catch it, so I don't want you to, don't feel like you have to, I don't want you to get in a car accident, okay? So please drive safe. This video will be on the internet, so if you do want to watch it later, it'll be there. But yeah, drive safe, and I don't want you getting in a car accident, okay? This is a shot glass from Spencer's. I know that's not nudity, that's, everything's covered up. Here is a Pokemon Yellow color Game Boy with Pokemon Yellow, the Pikachu. So Game Boy Color. Oh. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IV in Chrono Trigger. Here's a Pokeball thing with Poliwhirl. For some reason, I saw fit to put that in there. Jace, the Living Guild Pack. Pathwalker, Planeswalker. Rolly. But yeah. Here's a little paper. For some reason, I have a Space Jam. Oh. I also happen to have that. That's not nudity, not that you can see well enough to what it is. It reads August 23rd. So Virgo, I'm an Aquarius. I don't know. Here's a Space Jam coin. I think at one point I had a Pokemon 2000 coin. But I can't see very well in this lighting. Got Michael Jordan there. Yeah, here's the Poliwhirl. I had actually gotten this from a Burger King. Back in I don't know, 2001. Oh, be like, listen to the radio? Okay. As long as you're driving safe. I don't want you to get in a car accident, okay? Here's Volume 5 of Berserk of Gluttony. Here is The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Here is the CD collection for Senran and Kagura. As you can see, they got the Ninja Jutsu scrolls in between their tits to look like their dicks. I mean, that's the thing. They'll eat sushi, like the big roll, and it'll look suggestive because they're sticking a long cylindrical object into their mouths. So, suggestive. Which, this picture is really cool. Here's a Song of Memories for PS4. That's a good one. Raging Loop and Song of Memories are good ones. Manga 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. This manga is a lot like My Dress Up Darling, except it's, I don't know, I think it's a better story. Here is Boffery. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out defense. They're supposed to come out with season 2 at some point in the future. Don't know when, but that'd be cool. Apparently don't have the DVD case in here at the moment. Do have an art book. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll try to clean this stuff up tomorrow. Here's Overlord Season 1. Still looking forward to Overlord Season 4 DVD whenever it's available here in America. Here's a movie. It's an anime movie called Ride Your Wave. Here's the Bafaria DVD. Very good anime. It's like Sword Art Online, except nobody dies. Everyone's just happy, and it's just everyone's just happy. Nothing bad ever happens. The Hidden Dungeon, Only I Can Enter. It's a light novel. There's another one called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Both are very good. This one's called Division Maneuver. That's a good one. Clockwork Planet. Grim Reaper and Four Girlfriends. Space Mercenary. Magistellus Bad Trip. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which I actually did try to read a bit of this. I also gave my own answer for that riddle. How is a raven and a writing desk the same? So my answer's dumb, but it's my answer. To be fair, the person who wrote the answer said there wasn't supposed to be an answer. Here's underwear. Watch Lunar D8 struggle with underpants. Here is underpants. Lunar D8 shows panties on stream. The original Pokemon movie VHS. I'm running out of room to put things in the rest of the hallway. Pokemon 2000, also VHS. Pokemon 3, the movie, VHS. The Teratology of the Invisible Sun. I don't know if I can find. It's got various pictures in it. I guess the best way to just imagine like Dungeons and Dragons, Monster Manual. I don't know. Just trying to find a particular picture, and I don't know what page is that. There's various things. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually look it up in the index. One moment. I go off screen so I can actually read this because I can't read well enough. Oh, that's so much easier to breathe. Okay. Oh. Okay. This is what I was looking for. Here is a desktop map, which is fine so I just have a laptop. But Buffery. This came with that box set. Here is Ultra Instinct Goku. Here is Pikachu, made out of 100% adorable. Here's Itachi, Naruto. Here's the box set, The Plunderer. Okay, well, first, here's the DVD. Here is an art book. So, it's very good anime. Also supposed to have a season 2 eventually. Yeah, that's a whole book, and this thing has a bunch of basically stickers and acrylic stand and stuff like that. I'll actually probably put this together later. I just left it in the box this whole time. But at some point I'll figure out how to put this together. Okay, at some point I'll have to put this together, but either something's wrong with the lighting here, or I can't really see what I'm doing. I feel like it looks almost like there's a layer of film on top. I haven't taken it out of the plastic until now. And even then, it looks like there should be another layer of plastic on top of this. I'll probably make the stand, put it together later. I feel like there should be something on top of this that's supposed to come off. That's what it looks like. I'll figure that out later and put it together. So. Directions. So that's main characters. Of course, I mean, technically all of these are going to be the main characters. All right, the numbers. Heck, I remember the death mark. One actually came with. Actually, I think I already showed you that one. Yeah, Plunderer is a very good anime. I do strongly suggest. I do want a season 2. It's a very good anime. For anyone listening to this by radio, I'm just sort of silently holding pictures up to the camera. DVDs for Senran Kagura the anime, Senran Kagura Shinobi Master, which is a V instead of a B. Pokemon Orange Island DVDs. I have 4 Tenchi Muyo DVDs here. Let me try and put them in order. Okay. Tenchi Muyo, first DVD. Second DVD. Third DVD. And the fourth DVD. There were more. Like I said, Tenchi Muyo did a lot of different. There was Tenchi Muyo, then they went to Tenchi Universe, and then Tenchi in Tokyo, then did several movies. Then there was Tenchi Muyo GXP, which is about Sana. Then they went back to Tenchi Muyo and actually finished that story. You had Tenchi versus Z, where they're doing outer space battles and stuff like that. And you see more of Mihoshi's family and more of Tenchi's family. And you see more of what you'll actually see bits of in GXP. Then there was War in Geminar, and there was Tenchi AI Love. And there were several Ryoki versions as well. The only thing left, this. Blue Eyes. It's a person, a book. It's very good artwork. Maybe I'll try to find some of this online and post it on Twitter. Though I warn anyone. This is back when I was trying to sing the song The Search by NF. I did that in like 4 different videos. I like the Nightcore version with like a sort of version of Midori from My Hero Academia on there, but like here's a picture, for example. And it's just lots of very good pictures like that. I'm not going to show all the pictures. If anything, I'll try to find some on Google Images. And again, anyone who is not familiar with my Twitter, it's just porn. So you're someone who would not want or should not be looking at hentai, don't go there. Well, yeah, this book is just full of tons and tons of really good pictures, which I can't showcase very well in this camera. I'm just trying to find one in particular. I mean, granted, that's not what I'm looking for, but you get the idea. So just very, very good artwork. I don't know. Here's a witch smoking a cigarette, giving a peace sign. This person's very good at art. Samurais and oh, here's a good picture. I can't see in this lighting at all. Even though I have every light available on, except for the lamp downstairs, which I didn't bring because initially I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make a 10-second video where I just show off a Jason Voorhees mask, and then I'm like, oh, how about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? And I got carried away. I'm trying to find something. I don't know. This one's nice too. I'm not trying to show you every picture in this book. I'm just trying to find one particular picture. I just keep seeing, oh, that's a nice picture. That's a nice picture. Oh, I have to show this one. Here's the one I was looking for. Granted, there's 2 different versions of it. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. But yeah. Okay. I'm in this stream so I can get some air, and then maybe get a pizza, and a nap, and then go to work. And then probably clean this up later. Oh, but everybody out there, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And yeah, hope everyone out there has all the hugs and head pats you could ever want. And I really do hope everyone out there has a good day. Bye, everybody.